So I'm going to share my browser again. Here we go. There we go. Okay. So QuickSight. Now looking at the QuickSight dashboard, I'll just show you an example. So we're taking our transcripts and then running comprehend on them, getting the tags. Another thing I did was just dump the text files into an S3 bucket. And here is what our QuickSight dashboard looks like. I did a word count because the numerical quantities, that's a bit more proprietary. But the word count here, let's see if we can do this. So let's look at a word count by episode. Let's go to episode, an older one. Let's go to episode. Well, actually, let's go to 12. See what we talked about, episode 12. Interesting. Yeah. Wicker Pro. We still have to follow up on Wicker and see how that's going. Episode 13. So these are what I've done here is I've made a size weighted dashboard on the different entities that we found in the transcripts and then parameterized it by the episode number. So if you're a Tableau user, this would feel very familiar. QuickSight. Now, Raul, what are some of the uses of QuickSight that we use?
So we have basically replaced most of our analytics platform with a pattern that I call storage, query, and dashboard. So QuickSight does the dashboarding part of it. So let me start with storage. There are two kinds. We pick one of two. So depending on what the latency requirements on analytics are, we either pick S3, which is our default, or if there's a requirement to have, responses back in a sub 500 to 600 millisecond time frame, then we switch all that stuff over to Redshift. So that's your data source. So you choose between either S3 or Redshift. Then the second part of it is to be able to write queries or views on this data, right? And just like you would have with any other SQL data source. And for that, we use Athena. And Athena gives us a bunch of data sets that are processed. So sometimes we have to do a bunch of joins, we have to do a bunch of processing on the data and get it into a view in SQL terms. And that's basically what we get with Athena. And once we have that view, we load it into QuickSight. That then allows us to slice and dice the data any way we want. And that's become the standard pattern for all of our BI and analytics.
Yeah, it's really powerful. Having been around, seeing people in the Tableau world, right? This can get you so. This is very, very much in the same realm. It's really easy. I hadn't used it very much before, but it only took me a few minutes of experimenting to literally all you do. You make a data set here. You can point it at an S3 bucket, or you can, let's see.
You can point it to an Athena query as well.
Here we go. New data set.
Correct.
Let's make this a bit bigger here. Yes, you have lots of different choices about where you point this.
Yeah.
Where you want to analyze. I want to try the Twitter analysis at some point. Point it to an S3 bucket, Athena, MySQL. We do all of that, and then literally just make a dashboard. You can drag and drop different dimensions, look at different types of visualizations. And I think it's a really fun way of just, again, quantifying, understanding what we're talking about. I'm going to make a dashboard we can use to understand, once I'm pulling together all the different social data, to understand which of our highlights are more impactful, to understand how all of that works. But it's really exciting that we have this to visualize, and we don't have to think about building this out ourselves, right? It's not having to deal with plotting engines and all of the, behind the scenes of all of this is some really nitty gritty code about joining and dealing with date formatting and all of this stuff. We can just focus on the data that we actually want to display.
Correct. And the best part about QuickSight, or the part that I love the most about QuickSight, is that you can literally embed an entire QuickSight dashboard into into any application. So For most of our applications, we literally just do all of our work in QuickSight, get all the dashboards that we want ready, export that as a view, and that can literally be embedded into any of our enterprise products or applications in a neat layout where we might have a menu on the side or on the top, and then the dashboard just shows up in the middle, and we can talk to it, we can pass it, we can theme it, we can customize it. There's so much you can do with it when it's embedded in an application. It's pretty neat. So there was so much work that was being done in building custom dashboards in the past with all of our enterprise products. We just stopped it all. We're like, everything has to be replaced with QuickSight dashboards, because you can then build the dashboard separately, embed it, and it just works.
Oh, it's so much better than trying to. I still remember, again, the custom dashboards that I wrote where I'm trying to script R to process a CSV file, dump a PNG somewhere, and then pull it back in, and it becomes so fragile. With having this very rock solid dashboarding solution that's integrated with all of your other data sources, really neat. Well, we have about a minute or two left. I wanted to see if we wanted to brainstorm for future automations or talk about any of those things. Let's just do a quick